Today we're going to go over minds, and it's a fun activity, so I'll just wait for people to join class while I get prepared. Okay. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. What about you?
Good. Pretty good. Okay. So the word mind has a few definitions, and we can use it in different ways. So we're going to take a look at it today and discuss it. All right. Paste. So the first thing I want us to do in class is to write 3 definitions of the word mind. So try not to use Google too much, but how can we use the word mind, or what does it mean? So can we come up with anything? All right. So can we come up with 3 definitions, 3 uses of the word mind? So what do you think? Have you heard this word before?
Yeah, I've heard coal mines.
Coal mine? Yeah, exactly. So a coal mine, can you explain that?
Mine. Yeah, it means the holes under the ground, minerals such as coal, gold, and drugs are.
Yeah, so a hole underneath the ground, beneath the earth, that has a resource we're looking for. So coal, gold, natural gas, etc.
Yeah.
Okay. What about another definition? How else have you heard mine in the past?
Mine is a weapon that is used in war.
Yeah, so a mine is a weapon used in war. So mostly a landmine. So they're underneath, they're usually little discs or bombs underneath the ground, and if any pressure gets placed on them, everything explodes. All right, what about the last definition? What can we say? This one's a little different.
One mine means a pronoun. It's mine.
Yeah, so it's a pronoun. So pronoun, it's mine, or that's mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so great. Okay. All right, what is the second? Okay, so I want us to complete these sentences. And so I'm going to first post the words that you can choose from, and then I'll read the sentence and post the sentence if you need it to be posted. So what we're looking for here is to fill in the blank for these sentences. So this is just a few exercises before we get to head into the discussion. All right. All right, so the first sentence is, have a difficult job because they have to work underground. And I'll put it right here. So question 1, and the periods, you'll see a line of dots. That's where we want to put the word. So our choices are mine, which you can use twice, a mine of information, landmine, to mine, minefield, miner, mining a gold mine. So I really should have put some commas in between the words. So I'll rewrite our options. So does anyone know what they would put in that blank?
Miner.
Miner, yeah. Can you tell us why? What is a miner?
Miner is someone who works in the minefield, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Mining a gold mine. Okay, so that should be, those are our options, a little bit clearer. So the answer for question 1 is miner, and that's a person who works in the mines. All right. What about, is this John's mobile phone? No, it's
mine.
It's mine, yeah. So I'll post the whole sentence here for us. Sentence 2. All right. Although it wasn't profitable at first, Peter's social networking website soon became blank for him. So this is an idiosyncratic phrase that we use a lot.
A gold mine.
A gold mine, yeah, awesome. Name a gold mine for him. Okay. All right. And I promise we'll get some more speaking in. I just wanted to work on some grammar and some vocab first. Okay. So he lost his leg when he stepped on a...
Mine?
Yeah, exactly. He lost his leg when he stepped on a mine. So does anyone need an explanation of what gold mine means? So in question or sentence 3, although it wasn't profitable at first, Peter's social networking website soon became a gold mine for him.
It's an asset.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. What about his family went to America during the gold rush because they wanted blank for gold?
Is that a verb, to mine? Or?
Yep,
Exactly. Oh, okay.
They wanted to mine for gold. All right. Copy. All right. And I'm just pasting that for us. To mine for gold. Okay. Human beings have been blank for thousands of years. What do you guys think? Human beings have been blank for thousands of years.
Mining.
Yeah. So what do you think we have mined in the past? Thousands of years ago. What did we mine for?
For burning fire, for making fire.
Okay, so for making fire, so for oil or for coal? What is that? Oh. Can you explain that more? Okay. What did people use in the past to build houses and bridges and churches and mosques and temples. What products have we been using for thousands of years?
Stones or bricks? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So in the town I live in currently, we have a lot of underground tunnels because they took out all of the stone from the mountain to build the houses that are on top of the mountain. So where I live right now, you can't drive a truck on the streets because the roads will collapse into the tunnels underneath. So, and in the Netherlands, there's also a town like that, Maastricht. So it's very common for us to dig the ground up and then build on top. All right. What about, it is extremely dangerous to walk in this area. Most of the land around the village is not safe. There are blank everywhere.
Mine land.
There are landmines everywhere. Yep. Just the opposite. Landmines everywhere. So you had it close. What about most of the men in the town worked in the local copper blank?
Mines.
Copper mines, yeah. And what is copper?
Copper is a kind of metal I can see you in chemistry.
What color is copper usually? Can you describe the color?
It can be, I think, gray, isn't it?
I think it's kind of like an orange color.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and then this is the last one. So our teacher is blank. You can ask her anything about English grammar and she will know the answer. I did not come up with this, by the way.
Our teacher is a minority.
So our teacher is blank. You can ask her anything about English grammar and she will know the answer. So what did we say before was...
Common?
Yeah. Or what else? What means a gold mine? It's written out, I think.
Resourceful?
Yeah, resourceful. So what from the list means resourceful? If we scroll back up.
Which words do we have?
We only have one left, so I don't want to give the answer away. But the words we can use are mine, a mine of information, land mine, to
Mine of
mine.
information.
Yeah, so a mine of information.
Is the phrase mine of information or?
Pardon, can you repeat?
Is it a phrase, mine of information, or is it a vocabulary?
It's a phrase. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's one of those idiosyncratic phrases where if you translated it word for word, it probably would not make sense. So a mine of information. So, all right. So now I have some discussion questions for us to look at. So we know that in mines, we're digging into the ground to find something. So what metals, minerals, or materials do mines in your country produce, if you have any? So let us know where you're from and what your country did produce or still produces. So for example, in the US, I would say in California, in the 1800s, there was a huge gold rush. So people from all over the world and all over America went to California to become miners and like strike it rich. which means they would be lucky in finding gold.
I'm from Afghanistan, and there we can find irons, coppers, and some more things, coals.
Cool. All right. What about anyone else?
Pardon me?
So you said irons, coppers, and what else?
Coals, I said.
Cool. All right. Do you know anyone that is a miner?
Yeah, some of my relatives, they used to work in the coal mines.
In the coal mines. So, did they ever say if it was a dirty job or not? I have this image of coal miners coming out with, black faces and sooty hands.
It's a difficult job. It needs more hardworking and energetic.
Understandable. It's a lot of physical labor.
Yeah.
Okay. What about anyone else? Does your country produce anything or did produce anything? Was there a gold rush or an oil rush? Like for us in Alaska and Washington, they wanted to open up the national parks for oil, but we ended up voting against that to some degree. Anything like that where you are from? Okay, so Frederic, are you in class or just watching? I think you're.
I am in class, but I don't know if my microphone functions.
No, it's working great. So.
Oh, okay. Hello.
Hello. So you live in France, and your country produces
anything.
Anything?
Yeah. I think they are just there is just one, but I don't know. Say in English, charbon, carbon.
Coal. Yeah.
Just that, I think, in France. No metal.
Okay. All right. And do you export it or do you keep it within France? So do you use it for trains or do you send it to other countries to be manufactured? Do you know?
I don't know. I think France imported some metals about Russia. I think Russia, there are very many mines of gold, and France imports gold in our country.
Wait, so there are gold mines in France? Or, sorry, I heard gold mines, or just a lot of mines.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. I did not know that. I currently live in France. So. All right. And so would one more person like to share it all before we move on to the next question?
Yes, I would like to share.
Awesome.
I live in Sweden and we mine for iron and other ores. Is that how you say ores?
Other, let me check on that because I know.
Gold. No?
Yeah, exactly. That's ores. That works perfectly. I was just making sure.
Okay.
Yeah, metal or valuable mineral.
And we have also attracted investors in a gold mine in northern Sweden.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes.
And very well put. All right. Okay, so this is the question that I have for you, and I'll post it in chat. Okay. And let's try to get everyone to participate as well. So if you're a little shy, hopefully you'll answer one question maybe. So have you ever been to a mine? If so, describe the mine. And if not, Would you like to visit a mine? Why or why not? So it can be one, for instance, like in Sweden, the new coal mines that are going to be dug or are being dug already, or if you'd like to visit an ancient one, so I've been to a mine in my town. They're called les souterrains, so the underground tunnels, and people hid in them during World War II. From the air raids, so some people have scratched their names into the sides of the walls. So it's pretty interesting. So has anyone ever been to something like that, or to an actual working mine?
No.
No? Okay. Would anyone like to visit or see how production in mining works? What happens during a day at the mine?
Yeah, it would be interesting to know, to see.
Would you be willing to go underground in a coal mine, say?
Well, yeah, I think here in Sweden it's pretty safe, so.
It's a very dangerous place and fearful.
It's what?
It's a very dangerous place and a fearful place.
Yeah. So so why do we associate fear sometimes with mines? Can anyone maybe explain?
Because the stones may crush once.
Okay, so the stones may crush you. Yeah, so we can say the tunnels or the caves, mines, may cave in.
Yeah, and it's constantly reported in the news that about accidents in coal mines and so forth. People that have gotten trapped in different kind of mines.
Yeah, exactly. Wasn't there a few years ago a huge problem with that, where 30 or so people got trapped within the mine for over a month, I think?
In Chile, yeah.
Yeah. And where are you from, may I ask?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm from Sweden.
Sweden. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. It's hard to tell when I don't have faces. So
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna swap
no.
a picture for another picture later.
No, it's fine. At least you won't have an awkward picture of yourself on the internet, which I have many of them now. So you guys are smart with your pictures. So the third question is, so what are the advantages and disadvantages of working in a mine? So can we come up?
The advantages is that we can extract the natural resources which are helpful to our life. For example, the coals which can make fire for other people, so which do not have access to the electricity, and the irons and some other metals which are helpful to our life.
Yeah, that's a really great answer. So extracting natural resources that can improve our lives. What's another advantage?
Hello, Laura.
Hello.
It creates jobs.
Yeah, so we're creating jobs. And what else, Kayam?
Yeah, we can get gas as well from the mines. We can provide for the city, for our city gas service.
Yeah. So the resources that are underground are usually plentiful.
Yeah.
To fuel our cities, are usually plentiful enough to fuel our cities. Although environmentalists, I'm a little bit of an environmentalist, will disagree with us on that. So does anyone disagree on like natural gas and coal and oil being plentiful enough to fuel cities and cars and everyday life for us. No. Yeah, that's a whole nother environmental topic, which maybe I can do a lesson on for class. So can we think of any other advantages?
Mm-hmm. The other advantage, I think, that is about the channels that helps the passengers to move in safely from mountains, because in some countries that are the weathers are very cold and snows are there. Sometimes the snow can fall down from the mountain and can put a hurdle in the streets and can pull down in the cars.
Okay, so then what are the tunnels used for, the mines used for? I'm a little confused. So could you clarify a little bit, or just repeat so I can...
I mean that the other one of the advantages of mines is that people used to make tunnels under the mountains, so that the passengers or the people who are in their cars, they can cross streets safely, because in some places the winter seasons are there that the mountains are full of snows, and one time they can crash to the streets, and it's harmful for the drivers.
Yeah, awesome. So transportation using old tunnels or creating new ones with the technology from mining. What else have we used that mining technology for, especially in cities? So how do you get from one end of New York City to the other?
Using the underground.
Yeah, so...
or metro. Or
the underground.
The underground.
Yeah, the metro, subway. Is it called the channel in Britain? Something like that? The tube. The tube.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then the channel from Paris to London, we go underneath an ocean. Like, that's pretty incredible. So what are some disadvantages? So what are some negative aspects about land or mining?
The mine can collapse.
Yeah, so dangerous to the workers inside. What about the quality of air? Is it the same as... Hello, welcome to class.
Thank you.
We're talking about mines, so tunnels that we dig underneath the ground to extract materials or for transportation. And my question is, what are the disadvantages to working in mines, or the disadvantages of mines? And I just asked about the quality of air. Is it the same as standing outside, or is it better? Is it worse? What do you guys think?
There are a lot of machines inside the mine who extract the air to purify it and enter new air from the outside. I think this is good. I suppose the air inside the mine is good.
Okay. So we came up with some advantages. So can anyone tell us another disadvantage? Someone said dangerous to the workers inside because they collapse.
I think that these mines are natural resources, and these are not reproducible. And once we use that, it will be finished, and it cannot be produced, and it takes millions of times to reproduce them. And it's one of the disadvantaged things that we are using.
Yeah, exactly. So natural resources are not reusable. Once they are gone forever, which is great. So it's not like wind technology or solar technology, once we use up all of the oil and the coal, we have to wait millions of years and dinosaurs to rot beneath the earth, which I'm not sure is going to happen again. So that's a great point.
What about the pollution?
Yeah, so, okay, pollution.
I think the air is very bad because a lot of particles compose air and is very bad for lungs.
Yeah, so pollution not only from the resources that we use, but we're not giving the miners a good quality, of health. So the air in the tunnels is usually terrible for them to breathe. Air in the tunnels is not good to breathe. Yeah, so as you were saying, there are a lot of particles, a lot of dust, dirt, soot in the air. All right, so those are some good advantages and some terrible disadvantages. Did anyone else want to say an advantage or disadvantage before we go on to the next question?
One of the advantages is that the miner earn a lot of money.
Okay, so
in some countries they earn a lot of money. Of course, it is a very risk work. For this reason, they earn a lot of money.
Yeah, so that's great. So, like high risk work gets oh, I just had the word. High risk work gets rewarded very well. Very well. I know in the past in America, miners were treated terribly, so it was a little bit like slave labor, so getting very, very poor salaries, maybe not even enough to live off of, and people lived 6, 7, 8 people in one small room, just trying to survive. But I think you're right. I think it's changed today, whereas it's more of a respected job because it's a necessity for our lives at this point.
Another advantage is that the miner get retiring more younger than the people who work in another job.
Can you clarify that idea for us? I'm not sure I understand.
Yes, for example, a miner get a retirement about 16 years.
Okay, so they
16 years. Other type of workers get retired per past 70 years, more or less.
Okay. So I don't know if that's true everywhere. Can anyone else verify or disagree with that point, that miners retire at an earlier age, so more jobs open up? I'm not sure about that one, but that's a possibility.
I guess they don't live to retire. I guess they don't have a long life.
All right, and that was Hani, right?
Yes.
I like your photo. Isn't that the guy from Prison Break?
Yes, that's one. Yes, that's him.
I watched that show this summer.
I watched it several times. It's a great series. I like it very much. I like it.
Was this story true, teacher? Was it a true story?
Prison Break?
Yeah, I mean.
No, but it would have been kind of cool if it was.
He was so talented, man.
Do you remember the story?
I do, yeah.
Which season? It is a lot of seasons.
I saw all of them.
Yes, I downloaded all of them and see them.
Yeah, I don't like the ending. That's all I'm
Yes,
gonna
we don't like it. Yes, I guess they made a movie and changed the ending in the movie.
Oh, I haven't heard about that, so I'll have to check it out
Yes,
and
check it
maybe see
out.
it.
Maybe you like it.
Awesome. So my next question for you guys is, would you like to be a miner? Why or why not? And most importantly, so what qualities do you think a good miner needs? So for instance, like, do you think they need strength? Something like that, so we can talk about it.
Yeah, physical strength.
Yeah, so physical strength. Okay. What about mental strength? Like a
Yeah,
strong
it's also
mental.
important.
It's very strong note.
Yeah, so a strong mental capacity. Um,
You should be
Huh.
young.
The,
Good eyes, perhaps. I don't know.
yeah, good eyes, or maybe they like the dark. They like the
the,
dark.
the people who work in the miner, they don't have to be afraid of the closed space.
Yeah, exactly. So you cannot be afraid of small spaces.
The miner should be much more conscious in the mind.
Yeah, so they should be cautious. We can say aware, or sharp. So you know their senses, they're always alert.
I think that nobody likes be miner. They work because they need the money.
So do we have anyone out there? I know we had one of our students, his family, they were miners. So I'm asking him and the rest of class, would you like to be a miner? Why or why not?
I don't like to be a miner because it is a hard work. It needs lots of energy and physical strength, and it's a very dangerous job, and it has some disadvantages to our body and our health as well.
Yeah, exactly. What about anyone else? Would you like to be a miner for just a day to try it out?
No.
Or
No.
no? Okay, so can you explain why not? Give a reason.
The main reason is the miner is a very dangerous work, as said before. It's very strange work. I am afraid of the little space or closed space.
Yeah, so I think the general consensus, so general consensus means consensus, the popular opinion. So the popular opinion is that we appreciate the people that mine, but we would not want to be in their job at all. It takes a special kind of person to be able to go into a hole in the ground every day and not see sunlight. That's for sure.
I guess something.
Yeah.
The miners, they don't choose to be a miners. Just grow up and find their parents work as a miners. They work like miners too. Like I guess they don't choose to be a miner. Maybe they live near a mine. That's all. They didn't choose.
Yeah. So,
maybe it is the only job available.
yeah, exactly. I don't think. Sorry, I'm just gonna mute you for a second. Sorry, your kid is crying. So yeah, that's an excellent point. I don't think anyone starts out as a 5-year-old and they want to be a miner. Everyone wants to be the president or the princess or you know, a fireman or a police officer, but no one ever says, I want to be a miner. So that's an excellent point. So we can say it's also a job sometimes out of necessity. So like Connie said, maybe their parents were miners, so they're going into the same field, or they just need money, and that's the only available job. So a job sometimes out of necessity, or it'll come to me, but I had another way to put it as well, to give you some vocabulary.
I think that nowadays the miner workings are very most safe than in the past. I don't hear actually that many people die in the mine. In the past, there were a lot of accidents, but now I think the safe is good, more or less. In some countries, in other countries, it is different.
Yeah, so that's my next question, which is, what do you think can be done to improve safety in mines? So like Manuel has said, we've improved safety to some degree, but like Maria said, there are reported accidents on the news a lot about miners getting trapped, miners dying, collapses, just problems with the industry. So what do you think can be done to improve the safety of the workers? So we've made a lot of advances, but what else can we do maybe?
I think that in the mine they should put some pillars or legs in order to not the upper parts of the mountain should crash or collapse.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe if it's structurally possible, to put in like columns, so like something to hold the roof up. You mean?
Yeah.
Just in case. So maybe more reinforcements so the mountain doesn't collapse. What else can we do? Do we have problems with mining too far so that we get ourselves into dangerous situations? As in, do we stop at a good point, or do we just keep going because we know there's more there? So what do you think about that?
The use of robots could be an interesting option to avoid some different risk in the mine. There are some labor that can be made for robots, and this is a good idea for improve the security, the safety in mine.
So do you mean using machines and not people underground?
Yes, for some works, it is possible to do.
Yeah, that would
use robots or some equipment like this that make the labor more dangerous.
Yeah. So, what do you think that would do to jobs? Do you think it would be okay because you would still have people who would operate the machines underground, or do you think using robots to mine would decrease the amount of jobs that mining does provide for us?
Decrease the amount of job, it's clear, but increase the safety in the mine.
Yeah, so the disadvantage is that we would lose some jobs, but the advantage is we would significantly improve the safety of the workers.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's an excellent point. What else do you think can be done to improve safety? Can we think of anything else?
Yes, I could think of something else. We could make the working times less than usual. Maybe 2 hours, 3 hours, not 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
It'd be good for them.
Yeah, so making the time in the mines shorter, because
Yes.
working an 8-hour day is physically demanding and it's not good for their health. Yeah.
I think that the miners, the owners, I think those should provide some trainings for the employers and instructions when any incident happens, what they should do, what are their responsibilities, and there should be some emergency services when if anything occurs in some parts of the mines, the other employees should be aware of that and should get rid of the mine.
Yeah, so definitely increasing training and security measures. So instead of having a rescue team 2 hours away, there should be like maybe a small rescue team nearby just in case, or materials to help people get out if they get trapped in mines. Yeah, that would like what happened in, it was Colombia, right? The mine that collapsed and all those people were trapped in there, and it took them like what, a few hours to get water to them.
It was in Chile, wasn't it?
Oh, Chile, sorry. Yeah. And like that's ridiculous that they could get resources to them after a few hours. There should have been someone there immediately assessing the situation. So yeah, definitely increasing those measures. Does anyone else have any input?
Well, I think we will continue to dig for more iron or whatever resources underground. As long as there are resources, we will continue like digging for it. In a city in northern Sweden, we have dug so far that actually the city that is on top of the mine is at risk. So now they are moving the houses to another location. They are going to move the whole city to another location, to a safer place.
Really?
Yeah, it's true.
Wow.
What happened this? The earthquake or something like that?
No, so she was just saying, Maria's from Sweden, and there was a town, and they dug a lot of tunnels, mines, underneath the town, and she says it's Kiruna. Did I pronounce that?
Yeah, Kiruna.
And now the city is in danger of collapsing on itself, so they have to move it to a new location. So they're physically moving the houses from one city to another piece of land, which that's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
One question: who paid this translation?
Well,
the government.
The government. It's tax money. I mean, the people don't pay it themselves. It's tax money is used for that. I think
the government paid the new house.
Sorry?
No, I said if does the government paid the new house for the people, or who paid it?
They don't build new houses. They move their houses to another location.
Move the houses.
I mean, some of them they might just leave as is, but like buildings of importance, they are trying to move them to keep them intact.
That's so interesting. I didn't even know that that would be possible, especially with homes in Europe. A lot of times the homes here are so old, so that must be a very difficult project.
Yes.
So I just have a question too about it. Was it a company that was digging the mines, so like a big corporation, or was it the government? Okay.
It's a big corporation, but I'm not sure who is paying for the transfer of the houses. Perhaps it's the corporation and the government together. I'm not sure who is paying for the transfer.
Yeah. I'm interested to see if the government will sue that company.
I don't think so. They make agreements. Yeah, so...
Yeah, I think your government then may be receiving some money on the, like some money on the sly, you know, on the side, to not sue them, like a nice little gift.
I don't know.
never know. So then we haven't talked about landmines, but a lot of times that's used in guerrilla warfare. So guerrilla warfare, and does everyone know what that is, or should I just explain that idea a little bit? So guerrilla warfare is when you sneak attack the other, the enemy. So you use techniques that are not considered like respectable. So like landmines. So you put mines where you know your enemy is going to walk so that you can essentially kill them without having to endanger yourself. Or like the Americans did to the British during the Revolutionary War. We hid in the woods and we shot them as they walked to the battlefield to fight us. So we created an advantage for ourselves. So landmines a lot of times are used in guerrilla warfare. So do you think landmines should be banned so that their production should be eradicated, so stopped? And that's my last question for class, and I want to know what you guys think. So
I definitely think it should be banned.
Should be banned?
Yes.
What about anyone else? We haven't heard from Salem and Ziad. You just joined class.
Hello, everyone.
Mohammed, what do you think? Or Frederic, we haven't heard from you in a while. Do you think that landmines should be banned?
Yeah, I think.
Okay. So can you give us a reason why you think they should be banned? Do you think it's a fair way to fight? Do you think it endangers innocent people?
Yeah, after the war ended, it will dangerous people, the innocent.
Yeah, and why is that?
Because it's not easy to remove it from the land, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So after war, if landmines are still in the ground, they're really hard to find, either to remember where you put them or to find where your enemy put them, to take them apart and dismember them without having them explode on you. And what about people in the towns who live near war zones? What happens when they leave their town to go visit someone? Are there a lot of accidents reported with innocent people either getting killed or dismembered from these?
Yeah, it will be dangerous for them.
Yeah. So I know in parts of Africa, during some revolutions, we'll say, they used this tactic of landmines. So some of the children you can see are missing children, and also some adults are missing limbs. And there's another reason for that. But if you step on a landmine, you lose your life or you lose part of your body. So it's very dangerous for people who are not involved in the war. Yeah. Can you? Oh, nope, never mind. All right. Okay. And then what can be done to reduce the number of landmines in the world? Since we kind of all agree that they should be banned, what can we do to reduce the number of landmines that are still out there?
Use mine detectors to find them and how do you say?
Dismember. Dismember them.
Yes.
Yeah. So what kind of technology do we use to find mines? I actually don't know. Does anyone?
Can you repeat the question, please?
What kind of technology do we use to find landmines? Because I actually don't know how we find them. Yeah.
It's very complicated.
Complicated.
No,
Yeah.
but perfect if you use a track, heavy track, pass on the landmine, perfect. The mine explode, finish the problem. Very big track.
Okay. Yeah, I guess they could use that tactic, although you would need someone to drive the truck. So.
No, a robot, for example.
All right. So.
A robot can drive or teledirection. You with telecontrol. You control the track with telecontrol, for example.
Yeah.
You have to drive the track.
Okay.
I think there is a programmer mine detector.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe something that detects the radiation or the energy or the metal they're using.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, good class, guys. I hope you enjoyed this topic and that you have an awesome day. So I'll see some of you later. I have more classes tonight as well. So.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
You're welcome.
Thank
Goodbye.
you. Bye-bye.
Merci.